I'm Neringa Young. Originally, I'm from Lithuania. And for the last 15 years, I've been running software development events for software engineers, programmers, computer scientists. So this is my main area, what I'm doing. Of course, there are side projects that I'm handling, but software development is my thing. A disclaimer, I'm not a software developer by myself, but what I do, I bring people together. I bring developers, teachers, tech companies together in one place so everyone could network and create good contacts.
So you're doing this from?
Sorry?
You're doing this work from?
So I'm working remotely most of the time, but physical events happens everywhere in the world. So I'm traveling a lot. Just came back from Boston. December I was in New Zealand having a conference. Also, I have my own conference in Lithuania. And location keeps changing. So it's really, I think I'm living my dream. I having my dream work. I always wanted to travel and and get paid for that. So this is it now.
So, so you do events and you organize events for people to connect and understand the technology and the software.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. So, my main role is to make the event happen. So sometimes I need to do all the program. I need to invite teachers, lecturers to come over and present. Sometimes I need to coordinate. Well, everything from A to Z to make the event happen. So to give you an example, for example, to make a 3-day event, it takes more than 1 year because you need to find the venue, you need to find who will come to your event, you need to invite participants, you need to sell. I think that's another topic what we could discuss. So to make an event, you need to make sure that you have funding, that you have sponsors. So it takes a long time to organize only 3-day event. So there is a team behind that's helping me as well with everything. So I'm not doing this just by myself. I'm just on top of everything to make sure everything is coordinated. So I have people who are helping me.
And what is the intention to do these events?
What is the intention?
Yeah. What outcome you will expect?
So the best outcome is when people start buying tickets after the event is over. So that means they were happy, they had great experiences, they learned stuff. So it's educational conferences, and the goal is to educate and get inspired and maybe find a new job. So my goal is that participants would benefit from the event. And if they are benefiting, they are coming back to the event and bringing their colleagues and talking about the event. Then, sales just happen by themselves. If you're doing a great job, then everything comes back to you. And then you can expand. So I think that's the main thing, to make sure that the client is happy. Yes, it's everywhere like this. In each business, we want to make sure that client is happy.
So the people who comes to the event, what their requirement or needs will be?
Mm-hmm. Well, if it's academic conference, so they probably come to present their research projects, because in academic conferences, people all years they're working, writing papers, and they need to present their something. So conference is the space where they can do that and receive the feedback so they could improve. Other than that, at other commercial conferences, attendees come to learn stuff or to meet tech companies. Tech companies comes to find new developers. So I have a successful story I want to share with you. So, well, not that long time ago, there was a COVID time, and all my events turned to virtual events. And okay, so we did this for 2 years. I never stopped doing events. We just made virtual conferences. And it was 2 years ago, we are doing that conference, and there are my conference, well, I'm talking now about Lithuanian conference, where the base is Lithuania. So that conference expanded so much that we reached people in Ghana, in India. Everyone started joining the conference. And a year later, last year, there is an event in Vilnius, in Lithuania, and I'm meeting a person from Ghana, and I'm asking him how he decided to move to Lithuania. And he's telling, well, a year ago, I attended virtual event from Ghana, and there was a tech company that interviewed me at your conference, and then they offered me a job position, and now I moved to Lithuania. So, when you're getting such success stories, you just want to keep moving and doing what you're doing.
So it's amazing that you're creating network and making people to use benefit of this event and get jobs, also get some software projects as well, working together.
Yeah, that's right. I really believe that we need to keep learning. It's never stopping process, especially in technology. So things like changing every day, every month, so if you want to succeed, you need to keep moving. And I like to be in the room where there are so many smart people. They are creating metaverse, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Just amazing what they are doing.
When you started this?
It was, 15 years ago. It was how I started this. I started from little projects. Let's start from the school. In school, I was also organizing some stuff. When I was at home, I was organizing stuff for my sister and brother and making them to attend a conference or make an event for my parents. So I was all the time into organizing, coordinating stuff. And later on, I studied, my studies were culture management that also had conference management in the study. So I had some university experience. But later on, in Lithuania, there were no meetups or conferences for software developers. So I thought I will give a go and start doing something for them. And then from small event, it became a huge event. And last year we had 1,000 attendees, plus more than 5,000 joining virtually. So, yeah. So from one conference, I I started doing other conferences as well,
So from this 15 years of span, how many events you have organized?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I lost the count. Few hundreds, I think. Smaller, bigger events, virtual events. Yeah, when virtual events started, we kept doing events every week, and I was not counting. Yeah. Right now I do 7 big projects in a year. So 7 big conferences and then some little events. So basically events happening for me every week still is going.
And how you will take the topic of the conference?
How is sorry?
The topic of your conference.
How I
the topic that should be discussed in the conference.
So that comes from the community. We do call for papers where people can submit conference papers, and from all the submissions that comes in, we can see what are the trends in the world, because we get submissions from everywhere in the world. So, and I also have some help. I have a program committee that helps to select speakers. And by the way, now we have call for paper opened. And what is great with that if you are selected as a speaker to come to the conference, everything is covered, including flights, accommodation, stay in Lithuania. So I think being a speaker is a great way to travel as well. I don't know, have you tried applying to conferences? Because I saw you're doing great interviews. You should go somewhere to marketing conferences.
Maybe I'll start with you.
Here you go. Yeah. But
So,
for those who wants to travel, see the world, I think it's speaking at the conferences, making some workshops. It's a great way to experience all this magic, travel, and balance.
yeah, I can see you're traveling everywhere. I can see you're doing work everywhere.
Yeah, I really like to know people, to know cultures. So, and when I'm traveling, I also am having my network is growing. I'm meeting people everywhere, not just at the conference, at the streets even. So there was, for example, I was in New Zealand, and we are supposed to have at the conference party. And the thing that the COVID cases went up, and our band got sick, so they couldn't perform for us. And I'm walking in Auckland Street, and I hear the music playing, and there is a guy playing with the guitar and singing on the street. So I thought, why not to invite him to perform for us? So I came to him. I said, "Oh, would you like to join and help us out, because we do not have a musician?" And he said, "Yes." So connections are created everywhere. Just you going on the street, and the person can help you in the situation.
So, how many countries you have traveled?
I do not count such things. Quite a few. I'm still missing Africa. I haven't been there. I've been to India. I really love that. It was super hot, but it's beautiful there. Yeah, I traveled a bit, but there are still lots of places I would like to go. Latin America, Asia, still huge. It's impossible to visit everything.
So, I do interviews like this. I did more than 100 country plus uh, professionals around the world.
So, is Lithuania first time you're doing? Like, person from Lithuania? Do you
Yeah,
have
first
some?
time.
There you
First
go.
time.
Woohoo! Thank you.
But I can see you work in New York as well.
Sometimes I go there to make a conference. Yes. Uh, New York, Boston, not Las Vegas. I haven't done anything in Las Vegas, but Los Angeles, Orlando, yeah, those.
So I personally did a master's in software engineering, also bachelor's in computer science and engineering. And
Uh, I,
right
I,
now,
I, I was never studying. Oh, you did?
yeah, I did master's in software engineering, also bachelor's in computer science and engineering. Right now, I'm getting trained as AWS Cloud DevOps Engineer role. My training is going on, my internship is going on. Apart from this, talking with computer, interacting with computer, creating things in the computer. I'm talking with people like you who already did so many things in their
Oh,
life.
that's amazing. You definitely need to apply for call for papers. And well, I didn't know your background. You know, wow, it's impressive.
So I thought that you saw my profile before coming to the show.
Yeah, well, my life is really intense. I looked at it, we started talking like 2 months ago. Yes, I looked at it. It looked interesting, and it looked interesting what people you are talking with. It's really impressive. And you're doing this remotely
Yeah,
at the time.
yeah.
Yeah, well, congrats on that. You're doing a great job.
Thank
Wow.
you. Thank you. So I'm sure you will like it. I'm sure after this conversation, you will definitely check it and definitely you will like it. But I'm thankful that you did so that you can come with open mind. Uh,
Uh-huh. Yes. Thank you for sharing this. I should be more prepared next time. The next time, if you will invite me. Yeah.
so I interviewed just an introduction before talking about you and the work in detail.
Mm-hmm.
I interviewed a lot of high-level professional technology professionals who worked with Steve Jobs, who worked with Bill Gates, and
Mm-hmm.
recently I interviewed the person who is vice president of Amazon Web Services.
Amazing.
Yeah, and also I don't just interview like you said. You have bought a person who is playing guitar uh,
Mm-hmm.
into the into the show and made them participate. In the same way, I interview people who are from non-technical background. I am a technologist, but I interview people who are into filmmaking, also who are Supreme Court lawyers, also who are police officers, who are authors. A lot of authors from around the world who write books about different things, and software engineers, developers,
Mm-hmm.
programmers, cloud engineers, cloud architects, and yeah, speakers, public speakers,
Yeah, that's amazing.
conference conference speakers, but not first time conference organizer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, your network is really impressive. With that, you could really make a conference yourself and invite all the people you have interviewed in one place and make amazing event.
So my full time job is like DevOps engineer role, but I'm
Uh-huh.
doing this to spread awareness, also share the knowledge. I do this virtually, but I'm really inspired that watching you because going physically to a place, organizing an event and making that successful and making them people to get maximum benefit out of it. Also creating opportunities
Mm-hmm.
around the world that your work is really inspiring and I'm a very less experienced than you. I did like 2 years of experience I have in but I had interviewed more than 570 people.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot. Amazing. It's what you do, it's a rare thing. Wow. And but you're working like full time.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned you finished computer science.
yeah, bachelor's in computer science and engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I also done my master's in software engineering.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's impressive.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you definitely need to apply for call for papers everywhere. Yes, if I would be you, I would do that because you already have the knowledge and you need to share it.
it's I will do maybe after
Maybe.
this.
I will ping you now, like you were pinging me about the interview.
But talking about your work more in detail,
Mhm.
you came from you went to the university, did, studies in conference related thing, also in culture related thing. but now you're organizing events and talking with experts who are into technology industry. So where that thought came, and also why you wanted to go to the physical places and explore things.
Mm-hmm. Well, what university doesn't teach is how to sell stuff. So they taught me how to organize events, but they never said where should I get the money from. So when I was studying, at the same time, I was also working as a telemarketing specialist, sales on the phone. So this is where I picked up that skill, how to sell stuff. So when I had experience how to sell stuff over the phone and then combined the knowledge how to organize event, I could do everything by myself. I could just create a product and start selling it. And the product could be, well, I decided it can be an event, a conference. So, so I think when I got that skill that I know how to sell, I can create my own brand and start doing that on my own. Of course, I was young at the time. I was like 22. So it was scary. I was not having enough money to fund myself. So I was saving and, then tried to be very active, tried to find sponsors for the event. And it was hard to sell a brand that is not known, to sell something that you just created and, well, you really, really believe that it should work, that this event should be very successful, but you don't know. But I was very, every day I would, like you probably, every day I would contact companies, write lots of emails, try to sell my product, my conference. So, and it paid off. Every time when you do actions, then things comes back to you. If you lay in bed, nothing happens.
And there's hundreds of events. I'm sure it might taught you a lot.
Oh, definitely, yes. It taught me to be disciplined, don't be stressful on small details. Just listen to people more and respond, make changes. Of course, I can make solutions on the spot. Like if something is needed to be changed, done, I could react very quickly. So that taught me a lot. And when COVID came, and I remember the time, 2 weeks until the event, the government said, no, you can't have physical events. So in 2 weeks, we had to transform into virtual event. And at that time, in Lithuania at least, I was the first one who did that online event. I was the first person who did that and transformed the conference in 2 weeks and from physical to online. So that was something crazy. So it taught me how to react fast to anything.
So I'm sure you might have seen and listened or observed a lot of software projects from different scientists or programmers or developers. So coming from a non-technical background, you are organizing this and making things possible and presenting their work. How is that?
Mm-hmm. So there is a saying that you don't need to know how repair the car in order to drive it. So, but in the car, I know where is the wheel. I know where is everything, but I don't need to repair it and know all the details. So, of course, I I know what people are talking about, but just I can't go deep inside. So people who presenting, they are deep into the topic. I am above, but I know if it's a cloud, like you just said, you're working with AWS Cloud. So yeah, I know what is cloud. I know definitions. Just I can't go deep into conversation about that. But if someone like would say, yeah, .NET, Java, JavaScript, UX, I know what they are talking about.
So what projects they present before you accepting and making them talk in your conference?
So some of them are working in tech companies, some individual freelancers. So it's about everything. Well, and as I mentioned, I have committee who selects speakers. So I'm not involved in that because I'm not competent in selecting the speakers. I could sometimes we invite soft skills speakers, like to talk about psychology, motivation, and so on. How we select speakers. Yeah. So first of all, it's blind selection. You don't see names and where person is from. It's only a topic and description. And it's very important that it would not be a sales pitch. That after listening this session, what attendee would benefit from that in practical way. Like if someone would say, well, this code line will help you, save so much time in your project. So perhaps that would be interesting. Well, if that exists. But, so program committee looks at what value session will bring for the attendee. If it's, marketing or selling, it's not interesting. We are focusing on actually building stuff and coding and making everything more efficient in such ways.
So how much time you take to organize an event, and how will be the schedule?
How could be what? Could you repeat?
How you will organize an event, how much time you take, and also uh, and venues and schedules, how will you organize everything?
So it really depends. So some events take a bit over than a year. Some events take 2 years. Some events even 3 years. So because, for example, in US, you need to have the venues selling out very quickly. So you need to reserve it like 2 years in advance to make sure that you will have the place. And also, if it's a big event and lots of speakers are coming, so you need time for that. So, yeah, most of the times it's like 2 to 1 year. I do my conference in 1 year, but I have already all the processes ready for that. I've been doing my personal event for 12 years. So basically, it repeats itself. There is a framework, and yeah, so takes
And
12.
yeah. So, and what is the best event that you have organized in your experience?
The best event, of course. Well, I like all the events, but my baby is my conference. It's Build Stuff event, the one that everything started from. So, and it's still fun to organize it. And you know what's fun? So yeah, it will be the 12th year of that event. And there are some students who, for example, participated at the first conference. They already grown up, they working, and they are coming to conference as attendees. So we have that pool of people who are growing up with the conference, and it's like family now. people coming to the event once a year just to see each other, because everyone is from different locations. So yeah, it's still my favorite event.
So different professionals from different countries have different backgrounds and different cultures. So how you manage and how you make that successful?
So first of all, we have 100 speakers, and there is a variety of topics that you can go and listen. And there is a saying that sometimes best sessions happens in hallways, when you talk with the same developer. Well, you find people to talk at the conference. You even don't need, sometimes people just come to the conference and they do not go to the sessions. They just mingle in the hallways and talk with attendees or with partners, tech companies. So everyone finds what to do at the event. Yeah, it's not boring. We're missing the time. 3 days just runs so quickly, and each hour, each minute is occupied with something. You could go listen to sessions. You could go and talk with participants.
So what projects that they present?
What project? Well, it really depends. It's unique. Some present databases. Some of them, for example, are team leaders. So they talk about how to lead tech teams, like DevOps. Well, cloud projects. Then going to artificial intelligence, and now that web-free stuff. So many. It's a huge variety. But as I said, there are 100 speakers, so everyone finds what to listen and what to learn.
And what excites you to do the job that you're doing?
As I mentioned, as long as they are happy, I'm happy. It takes lots of efforts to organize event, but if I see people coming back to the event, that motivates me the most. That means they benefit from the event, and the event was valuable. So it's like all appreciation for my hard work. So them being happy after the event and talking about the event. Yeah.
And you are listening to these professionals and speakers who are already done a job or who are doing job and who are working on software projects and who are understanding how this software thing works, the mechanism, how it is being built and what are the things, tools or technologies that are being used in order to develop this. So you are listening to all these things, and have you ever thought that how this technology is helping mankind or human being to solve their real-time problems?
So if I'm listening to a session, well, there are so many sessions happening, so I can't go to each of the session. But when I'm talking with the speakers, I'm asking them, so now tell me in human language what your session is about and how it can help for me or for other simple people. And, they can explain me in a simple language what it is all about. So as I mentioned, I don't need to go deep inside how the technology works and how the code is written. I'm just a user of technology. So yeah, they explain me differently how everything works.
So what made you to organize technology events?
So at that time in Lithuania, there were no technology events. So that was a gap. So I took the opportunity to do that.
So what you have learned from different country professionals that they are presenting their work? Because I can see you have huge network. I can see you have a very big network and doing very big stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, well, my network is huge, but at the same time, the network of people in tech is still closed. So, for example, if it's academia, so all universities around the world are connected. So it's like a closed network. So if you are in, I'm doing commercial conference. So I also attract people from different countries, but it's like, again, our community. So, what was the question? Sorry.
So you talk with, I mean, there are a lot of professionals comes from different countries.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So,
But what's interesting that everyone speaks the same technology language. Like, it doesn't matter that it's culture differences, but they have the skills that unites them. They are into tech. So it's not, culture difference has never been an issue for running the event because everyone has something in common, and this is technology, right? Whether it's writing a code or creating product, technology product, or being a data scientist, something that unites.
so there are a lot of things in the technology, databases, front end, back end, uh, so many things to talk. So many experts that you present will be talking about so many things. It's not easy for you to like uh, 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 pick up them and know what exactly that they are doing research into. So, how much research you do in order to put them out?
Mm-hmm. So I have program committee who does the research and they have the competence and knowledge. Of course, when the speakers are selected, I check them out as well to see, if nothing is missing, like, I don't know. Well, normally I say, okay, I trust the committee. So it's not just on me to decide who can come to the conference. Without the committee, I would not be able to select the speakers. Maybe now I could, because, at each conference you can see which topics, which topics were shining and which speakers did very well and were popular. So perhaps I could do the conference as well, select speakers as well.
And what is the difference between organizing event in person and remotely?
It's a huge difference. When you organize virtual event, you just need to close your computer and then it looks that the event is gone. Like you're closing computer, like nothing is happening. You opening computer, oh, okay, there is session going. And that satisfaction of your work is much lower with virtual event when it is with a physical event. And for me, it's still easier to do physical event because to organize virtual event and engage everyone, we learned a lot during COVID, but engagement into events was still a questionable thing at virtual events.
And do tech startups uh, gets an invitation from this?
Who?
Tech
Sorry?
startups.
Tech startups.
Yeah.
Everyone who wants to participate, the event is open for that. What we also do, there is a diversity program at the conference. So we are giving away the tickets for women in tech. This is how we encourage women attend tech events. So yeah, giving back to community is one of my things. I really like. I really want to support and developer meetups and um, like and yeah, women in tech. There were lots of things that we were doing in that field as well.
So, how will be the topics of your events, like Women in Tech or Developers Conference or Leaders Conference, or what kind of titles that you put?
Well, everything is under one umbrella. It's Build Stuff Conference. And then we have in the Build Stuff DevOps, then artificial intelligence, architecture, programming languages. So there are like 7 different topics about the front end stuff, UX, yeah, even tech leadership. So different topics under one umbrella, Build Stuff umbrella.
So, I have a lot of high level technologists who are following me and who are connected to me. They will watch this, and definitely they will know what you are doing. So, can you tell me in detail how uh, the project that you're doing, how that will be uh, uh, creating value, also creating an effect, and how that will be useful for the technology world?
Mm-hmm. So it is already useful for technology world because, well, when people come together, there are new ideas appearing and new projects and new products are being created just in the conference. And for example, uh, where the conference is happening, for example, if we are bringing the conference, well, in Vilnius, Lithuania, it's a small country. So the conference who attracts people, foreigners to come to the Lithuania, they would never would be coming to Lithuania other way. So the conference is like economically beneficial for the country. So I think each town should put all efforts, try to create events or attract brands to their cities. Because when you attract event, you attract new talents, new people who are visiting your event country just because of the event. Otherwise, yeah so yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
So how it is beneficial for the newcomers who wants to come into the technology, and how they can able to present their work to through your conference?
So the thing is that conference organizers are still checking each other's conference. What is new? We also need to learn from someone. So, for example, there were some great stories when the person was speaking at the conference in Lithuania, and this was the first ever session given. And later on, she was invited to other events, and then she grew up so much that she started work in a huge corporation. So it could be speaking at my conference could be the first step to go up. And it's not just about my conference. Speaking at any conference, it could be the way to build your brand as developer and to get better jobs. Well, if it's the goal, or to build your career as a speaker.
So, do you have any particular project that you cannot forget that somebody have presented in your conference?
About the projects, yeah, now I will not be able to remember so fast. Just I remember the people that I saw them first on Build Stuff stage, and then I saw them. Oh, they're speaking in US now. So yeah.
And in different countries, they work in different styles, not and also the time zones are different. So how you are able to manage this?
So if it's a physical event, everything is happening in Lithuania, so then we don't need to worry. But when it was COVID times, well, we had to adjust the timing to each country and to have 100 speakers speaking at different time zone. That was so challenging, but somehow we made it through. Yeah, technology helps to adjust everything.
And tell me, you as a conference manager at Association for Computing Machinery.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Do you know this association?
Yeah,
Well, perhaps you presented some papers.
I,
Yeah?
I yeah. No, just now after connecting to you, I came to know about this.
Okay, okay. So this association is a very old association, over 50 years old, and it unites researchers, data scientists around the world. And it's academic conference and uh, academic academics and students and PhD students come has conferences, and they come to those conferences to present their work, their research on what they were working on. So I'm helping them with those conferences as well.
That's great. And also, you are founder and event producer of Fix Events.
This is my another company. So this company does other events than software development. So we have other clients. Well, it's also most of the conferences are expos. So for example, yeah, we are working with airports and bringing them to expo to, it's not software connected, but it's connected to, well, it's basically, well, it's event for airports and airlines. So it's networking event as well, just other audience.
And I can see you are enjoying traveling a lot.
Oh, yes. I love traveling. Now, actually, I will be based in Mexico for some time. I moved here for the winter. So, yeah, I will be staying over here.
Nice. And tell me about you as a member of International Women Association of Vilnius.
Yeah, I was doing some projects with them. Uh, we were doing a charity bazaar. So as I mentioned, I like to get involved in charity events as well. So every year this association has an amazing event, Christmas Charity Bazaar, and I was helping to organize this one for them.
So starting from nothing and creating something which is not existed before, because you have that education background. Also, you have done so many events in this long time. So, what drives you? What motivates you, or what inspires you to like wake up in the morning and go and do this stuff?
hmm Well, I'm a very disciplined person. So I wake up, I go running or go to gym, and then my brain starts working. And well, I'm listening and reading lots of books as well. And whatever I read, I want to implement it. And the space that I have is my conference where I'm free to do whatever ever I want. Sometimes it fails, sometimes, well, most of the times it succeeds. So, got
What is driving you? What is motivating you to do?
yes, yes, yes. So yeah, I also keep learning stuff. So whatever I learned in theory, I want to implement in practice. And conferences is that um, that space where I can do that easily.
So you are a people's person.
Probably, yeah. I talk a lot with people.
So how you are able to communicate and connect and able to manage and maintain this big network?
Well, of course, I have lots of thousands of people in my network. So sometimes I can't write to each of them, but we connect during the events. Well, at least saying, hi, nice to see you. It's amazing because, well, each event has also hundreds of attendees. So it's really hard to stay connected with everyone. And I think it's impossible to do that.
So, in which country you felt like very, very great in your experience?
In every country, I can replicate my events everywhere. It doesn't matter where.
And tell me about people who wants to be in your conference or who wants to, present their projects or their research things. You only uh, present the technology projects or also like environmental or some other industry projects as well.
So it should be technology products. Well, everything that is connected with coding, with creating, building stuff in technology. Yes.
So how they want to, if they want to be in your part of your conference or they want to uh, present their work, how to do that?
So now at buildstuff.events, there is a call for paper link so it's possible to submit up to 3 sessions, and we will select there will be like 10% selected from the whole scope. And I think it will be done on July. So there is still some time, lots of time to create a session and submit it.
And at last, what do you say about your work to my audience?
Could you repeat? Sorry.
Uh, at last, what do you say about your work to my audience?
About my work to your audience.
Yeah.
Well, if you are looking to become conference managers or creating a brand, a product, and would love to know how to organize stuff, and would love to travel the world. So being a conference manager, it's a great way to do that. Because as conference manager, you will learn everything, how to sell, how to make people happy, and also travel the world.
I'll put your web link on the screen as well as in the description of this video. People who finds our video on YouTube can see the work that you're doing and can be part of your work.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
And also,
Thank you.
can you spell your website to my podcast listeners?
Okay, let's do that. It's BUILTSTUFF.EVENTS. Build
So,
stuff events. Build stuff events. It's hard to spell.
well, stuff events. Where this name came from?
Just randomly, we were talking with friends how to name the event and what would be a good event and what would be a good name. And somehow, just from conversations, it came up.
That's great, and it's great that you are running this kind of a project and making hundreds and thousands of people to present their projects around the world. That makes a lot of people to get benefit from this. Also, you will be the reason for their smile.
Thank you. Wow, it's a great reminder. Yes, thank you.
And what is your observation about my work? You didn't saw my videos, but what?
I saw your videos and saw so many videos. Just didn't went deep inside for that, but what you're doing is amazing because well, you're interviewing great people, and as I mentioned, you should use this network that you're building here to make the next event in India or somewhere in the world.
I'm not an event organizer like you. I'm a builder. I'm a developer. I'm into development. But talking with experts like you and presenting your work actually, me inspiring somebody, showing your work because you have been in this kind of a work from long time, and there will be a lot of struggles and a lot of impossible things that you made possible, and now you created a very big network. Now your name is like well known. So if I'm presenting you through my podcast or my YouTube channel, it's already a big achievement for me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for kind words. Yeah, well, I never think about myself as a big name because I know where I come from, and uh, only work, hard work, uh, gives results. So, well, if I would stop now, well, everything would stop. You need to maintain and keep going.
And actually, you took this as a profession, and uh, uh, you are actually helping the world, uh, coming with new ideas. So I I just randomly pick people from internet and uh, ask them to be. Will you be on my show? I'm doing this. I'll present your work. Like I started like that, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I never thought that it becomes like 500 plus.
So, do you have like a goal? How many you want to do?
I want to do 4,000 interviews. That's
I
my
think we
goal.
go to record a book for that.
Yeah, my name is published in one of the American magazine.
Uh-huh.
Saying that I'm inspiring people by showing like experts like you
Mm-hmm.
doing because I also interview a lot of founders, CEOs, tech startup founders,
Yeah.
people work in IBM, Netflix, Amazon, everywhere. I didn't. It's not my profession. I didn't took this as a profession. I'm doing this to as a professional. I want to learn how you people are doing work. At the same time, I want to present to my audience like this is how people are making things possible and creating value in the world with using this technology.
Mm-hmm. Wow, impressive. Yeah, thank you once again for inviting me to your show.
So one last observation I want because you have a lot of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I did like I said, I'm talking with computer right now. Like I'm a
Yeah.
DevOps engineer, and talking with people like you. So how this talking with computers and talking with human beings, how this experience is going to be helpful for me in IT in coming days if I work in an IT.
So if you want to grow uh, and get a better job, get a better paid job, so your experience in connecting with people and presenting yourself is very valuable. And I think this will bring you a huge success.
Thank you very much. I will keep your words in my mind. Thank you again for giving me your valuable time and spending your valuable work and experience to my audience.
Thank you once again for inviting me.
Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yes, yes.
And also, can I put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Yes, yes, you can.
Thanks, Neringa, again.
Thank you. Good night. I'm going to sleep now.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.